and maybe set up another meeting if she doesn't feel comfortable just from the video alone. I'm happy to have another conversation with her. Great. So welcome, ladies. Thank you so much for making this time during your lunch. I'm sure you're quite busy. And thank you so much for volunteering to be a part of this really amazing program that we're hosting next week on Wednesday, the 27th. So we're currently in South Africa, but we are traveling to Namibia on Monday, and we're really looking forward to making the trip. I've never been to Namibia before, so I'm sure it's going to be an adventure. And then even more exciting is we're going to be able to have this workshop with the girls, with around about 200 girls from across Namibia to come and expose them and bring awareness to opportunities within the engineering and technology space, which is what we're very passionate about here. So I hadn't even introduced myself, so let me start off. My name is Atu. My full name is Atu Pele, but you can call me Atu, and I'm a project manager here at Warm Hub Warm Inge. And on the call with me, I have Nomfundo, who is our project coordinator. She's really amazing, and I'm sure you get to experience that amazingness next week. But basically, she handles all of the logistics and she does all of the running around for me, which I really appreciate. So the purpose of this meeting is just to prepare you for what next week will look like, and maybe just so you know what times you need to be at the venue, what it will look like, what you can expect from the girls, just to give you also a peace of mind and some ease. But before we begin, maybe, I'm not sure if everyone on the call already knows each other, because I'm sure you're probably based in different parts of DebMarine or NamDeb Foundation. So maybe we can go around and everyone can just introduce themselves and their discipline. Maybe we can start with Jean.
Hi, Atu. Actually, all of us work together on the same floor even.
Oh, that's amazing. Okay.
Yeah. So, but anyway, just for your and Nomfundo's information, I'm John Besaidnout. I'm the metallurgist for one of our mining vessels, the Harib. Yeah. So yeah, that's about it. And Corlia is my boss.
Okay, maybe we can go to Corlia next then. Apologies for saying your name wrong, but this is good that you said your name, so now I know it's Jean. Okay.
No problem.
Sorry, I actually have a plaster on my camera in case I have an accidental switch on my camera.
That's actually quite smart.
No, it's a tip I got from someone else that had an epic camera incident.
No.
So I look after metallurgy for DebMarine Namibia, and John and I work in the same team. And Emerensha joins the floor with us, albeit in a different department. So the three of us actually know each other quite well.
Oh, that's amazing.
And just by trade.
Okay, great.
Yeah, Emerensha Shengli, like Corlia said, we all on the same floor. I'm just with the research and development or strategic projects team as a research and development engineer, but I'm actually also a metallurgist. So,
very cool. Okay, that's awesome. Lovely to make everyone's acquaintance today, and I'm glad that you also all know each other. Out of curiosity, have any of you participated in the Ask an Engineer workshops before? Because we have been working with De Beers for 3 years, so I just want to make sure that if it's your first time or you do have some sort of experience in this.
No.
No, my first time.
Okay, great. So it's everyone's first time. Awesome.
Yes, Andrina has tried her utmost for years to get us there, or for me. I've been a very unwilling participant, but I can say no again. So no, it's a definite first.
Well, I'm really glad she didn't give up, and now you're here with us. And I'm sure you're going to really enjoy it. That's one thing. It's usually a very, very fun event, so I'm sure you will enjoy it. I'm just going to share my screen quickly to show the program for the day. This will also be emailed to everyone on the call. Okay, so as we said, the program is going to be running on the 27th, and it's a half-day workshop that we run. So us and the team will be there quite early just to make sure everything is where it needs to be. And we'll start having registration for the girls between 7 and 8, considering they're all coming from different schools. We want to allow that hour for everyone to really be settled in and to have the time to get there. And then the program will start at 8 a.m. So we just kind of start the day breaking the ice, because high school girls can be quite shy. So we like to do a fun welcome at the beginning, do some icebreakers, and just introduce them to the day that they're about to spend with us and what they can expect. And then also opens up for them to engage with the other girls that are on the table, since they're all coming from different schools across Namibia. And then we will have a representative from Deb Marine or Debia's group come and speak for the first 15 minutes. That maybe is going to be Nora or Hendrina, but we just need to confirm with the two of them who they would like to speak on that. And then we will run the session on the women's side on the future of work and the skills that you need. So that session is really about going through what the future of world really looks like, and showing the girls that the skills that they can get from an engineering degree are the skills that are actually needed in the future world of work. Whether they do end up as engineers or not, the kind of problem solving ability that engineers have is very much in line with where the world of work is going forward. So really just painting out the different opportunities in engineering. I think some of the girls are maybe restricted in thinking about just civil engineering or just chemical engineering, but to show them the many different facets of engineering that they maybe have not thought of before. Yeah, so that's just to provide context into the world of engineering for the girls that maybe they had not thought of before. And then this is followed by the actual Ask an Engineer part of the day, which is where you guys come into play. So we find that it's really helpful for the girls to see somebody that looks like them, somebody that they would never maybe have imagined being an engineer, and have the opportunity and for you to have the opportunity to share your story, how you got into the field. Sometimes it's fully on purpose. I know sometimes it's by accident. Maybe you applied for this course and you ended up here, but you actually do love what you do. And those are the stories we want you to be able to share with them, just the raw truth of how you got to where you are. And to share some of the challenges that you've gone through as well, and how you were able to work through them and overcome them to still be where you are right now. So each engineer is going to get about 10 minutes just to do that, like introduction into yourself. What did you study? What type of engineer are you? Some things you can think about are like, what does a day look like at work for you? What's a typical day look like for you? Maybe you could share what's interesting about the work that you do. So for Kolia and Jean, it should be the same. I was told you were a chemical engineer, Jean, so I need to change that now because you just said it's metallurgical as well.
I am a chemical engineer by degree or whatever. I studied chemical engineering, so I've got a BEng. But I am working as a metallurgist. So I'm bringing that into my presentation as well, kind of comparing the two and why I'm working as a metallurgist but studied as a chemical engineer.
Oh, that's very cool. Okay, awesome. So I love that that's part of your story that you're also going to share. Okay, so Kolia will go first. And if you could be there by 8:30, actually could we ask if both Kolia and Jean are there by 8:30, just so that we know you are comfortable, and if we need to do any presentations like you just mentioned now, Jean, we have everything on the deck. Everything is all set in terms of tech, sound, and then we're good to go. Okay, I see a thumbs up. That'd be great. Yes, so same kind of flow for everyone on the call on what you can actually, the kind of things you can share with the girls. Yes, and then at 9:15, we have a professor that's coming in from NUST, who's going to speak about the fourth industrial revolution, just to give a little bit more context into what that is. And then after that professor speaks, we'll have the Q&A session. So this is really an opportunity for the girls to ask you anything that they want. So burning questions is what we call it. And it can be like, it can range from your studies to how you were raised or how you grew up, that informed your decision to be an engineer. They can ask you about what your day at work looks like, maybe some challenges that you've gone through at work, what it's like to be a female engineer in a male-dominated space. That's a question we've been getting a lot recently as well. And yeah, they just have very interesting questions. I think we had a mining engineer on one of our calls, and the girls asked, and she works in an underground mine, and they were asking, you know, how does she go to the bathroom? Do they have like separate bathrooms for women and for men that are in the mine for her? And she shared a really interesting story, because I didn't know that either. But she said recently they did come up with this new policy that they fought for, to have separate bathrooms for women and for men, because of the needs of women are quite different. So you find that they are quite interesting questions. Some questions that are related to what you're a professional in, and sometimes just even general engineering questions, like what's the difference between a civil engineer and a mechanical engineer or an electrical engineer. So just those are some of the things that they may ask you during that Q&A session, but we will be facilitating that as well. So we'll have our volunteers standing at each of the tables with mics to help the girls ask the questions. And then when we sit at the round table at the front, I will be able to direct to one of you, or whoever feels comfortable answering the question can go ahead and proceed. So it's really very conversational is what I'm going to call it. Yes. So are there any questions so far before I move on? Okay.
I have a question. Sorry, Artem. I have no idea where the hands and the thumbs on Zoom live. So it's myself and John. So we are very focused in terms of our field. And I'm speaking for myself, but if someone asks me the difference between different engineering disciplines, I would not necessarily have the best answer. I would immediately go on to Google myself. But is there in the forum then someone outside of almost the mining and metallurgy field? Because I don't know when Emerensha is on the agenda, but we all very similar in terms of background.
That's very good. So I may be able to help and answer some of those questions. I will check with this professor as well, because I would suspect that a professor would also have this kind of information. But on top of that, we do have 4 volunteers on the women's crew side who are across different disciplines as well. So we have chemical engineers, we have mechanical engineers, and I think a civil engineer on there as well. So there will be enough engineers in the room, I'm hoping, to answer that question. And if there's a question that we can't answer, we usually tell the girls to send us an email, and then we reach out to our community, because we have a community of about 2,000 women engineers across the world from different disciplines who can be able to answer the questions for the girls.
Okay, no, I just wanted to state my reality up front.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. Answer what you can and answer what you feel comfortable answering. That's what I would say. Yeah. And maybe in your presentation, you can say something like fun about what you do as outside of your work, so that they can see that we can be serious, but engineers also have fun. They have hobbies. They have things that they enjoy. Okay, cool. I think I'll move on, and then you can ask questions again at the very end. So that's how that part is broken up. And then after that Q&A session, we will have a Launchpad workshop session. So what we do with them there is we do like the pink hard hats. I don't know if you've seen them, but we have pink hard hats that have the Women's branding and also the De Beers branding on them that we gift to the girls. And we just do an activity where the girls talk about the brand that they see themselves as, or what they would like to be represented as. And then we have stickers that they put on the hard hats, and we give them craft kits so that they can decorate it and really make it their own. So their hard hat is basically their own brand or the brand that they see themselves being. So it's just a fun kind of workshop that we run with them that's active, and they get to really think. And then they also share based off of what the stickers say, or what they've put on there, or what they've written on there. They also write quotes and things that inspire them that they want to live by. And then, yeah, it's just a really fun time for the girls to be creative. After that, we will have a tea break, and then continue with the workshop in the afternoon, not in the afternoon, at 10 o'clock. And then once that workshop session is done, at 11 o'clock, we will start with the next group of engineers. So it's broken up as 3 before the tea break and then 3 after the tea break. And it's going to be the same kind of flow. So I have Amarantia here from 11 o'clock. And so if Amarantia, if you can be there at 10:30, if you would like to stay for the whole morning, you're really more than welcome to do that for Jean and Kolia. And so same with you, Amarantia, if you want to have a presentation, that's okay. If you want to also just speak, that's okay. Please just maybe let us know so that we can also plan in terms of tech. And then you can speak to, again, your journey to becoming a research and development expert or professional. Have you studied, did you study engineering as well? And then you're just in the research and development space? Amarantia, out of curiosity.
Yeah, so I also did chemical engineering, but then branched into project management and yeah, now recently research and development.
Wow, that's very cool. And this is why we love these kinds of stories, because it just goes to show that you don't have to be what you studied, and that there's various different opportunities within the engineering space that you can pursue that pique your interest.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Fantastic. Okay, so then we'll have Amarantia, followed by Maggie, who is not with us right now, but we will brief her as well. And then we have another NUST professional coming in to talk about, because this is a question you will likely get as well, about what kind of grades should they have in the matric equivalent of Namibia, what their graduating year, what kind of grades should they have, or what kind of courses should they look at taking before, so that they can have a better chance of getting into university for these courses. Yeah, so he's going to speak about that. If they're unable to, Hendrina hasn't given me the final confirmation on this person. If they're unable to, we will use one of our volunteers to speak as well. So we definitely have a backup plan. And that will be followed up by the final Q&A session, similar kind of flow as the previous one, but just broken up so that we can have other fun activities in the middle. And then we will be closing by 12. And then the girls will have lunch between 12 and 1, and that will be the end of our day. So that is the high-level program of what you can expect on the 27th. The venue will be Nampao Convention Center, which I understand is also a bit close to Debmarine in Windhoek. But okay, yeah. Are there any questions from anybody? Checking the time, we have 9 minutes.
Just a question from my side. Indrina mentioned something about a paragraph and a photo. Is that still required or not? For booklets or something like that?
If you do have, we normally like to send that, like we send it. Namfundo, are we going to have printed ones, or do we just send, are we going to send a virtual PDF?
I think virtual PDF would work best.
Okay.
So you still need it, and by when do you need it?
If we could have it by Thursday.
Okay. All right. Perfect.
Okay. So a picture and a short bio about yourself. Then that also helps us when we're introducing you to the girls. And I don't have to ask all of these questions that I just asked now. Though that was fun.
Just a question, sorry. Amy, you asked for our photos. Are you also writing the paragraph, or should we write the paragraph?
No, I'm
confused.
actually using your photos in my presentation. So no.
Oh, okay. No problem. Thank you.
Okay. Any final questions? Or maybe I can get a feel of how everyone is feeling about the event. Are you nervous? Are you excited? What are you looking forward to from coming out of this?
Atu, if I can ask a question,
Mhm.
how old are the girls that are in attendance in general? What age group are we targeting?
So it is your grade 8, 9, and 10.
Okay.
I'm not sure what the equivalent is in Namibia. Is it forms? Do you have forms or grades?
A grade. So is it standard 8, 9, and 10?
So yes. What's the year before they go into university? Is it standard 12?
Standard
12.
6, 7, and 8, Corlia.
Is that?
Yeah, so 6, 7, and 8, graad 8, 9, 10. Grade 8, 9, 10.
Yeah, around from 14 years going up. So you're 14, 15, 16-year-old.
So
Thank
they're
you for
quite
making that easier, Namfundo.
okay. All right. So no, it was just not that I know any girls of this age, but trying to think what would they be interested? Yeah, sure. You should actually give us lessons in what is this generation called.
Generation
Okay.
Z.
Yeah.
14, 15, 16. All right. Thanks. That was a question, and it's quite clear, and it sounds like it's informal, and it's the days for them. It's not to showcase us, but it's to give them a platform to ask their questions in a safe space.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
And I promise you after this, Korea, you're going to put up your hand every time Hendrina calls for another one.
I'm sorry, I don't own any virtual clothing or properties or game or avatars, so I can't bring anything like that.
It's okay. Oh, all right. So are there any more questions before I close our meeting?